Streaming is on.
All right, so I listed some of the, previous existing mission statements that we've used in the past. So I don't know if these are helpful or applicable, but the point is that if we feel that some of these things are part of our purpose, then the idea would be, okay, maybe we should consider some of the existing entities as opposed to creating a new entity, right? And continue with what we are already doing, right? When we talk about, for example, on line 23 was present the work and vision of FQN, right? So if we're presenting the work of FQN, that's an option, is continue with FQN as the purpose, right?
I mean, I think that
So
they're
I
all
don't know if
applicable.
you feel like they are all applicable.
Yeah, they're all.
Also, I found, going back like, I don't know, a dozen years or more, we can see here that this is a purpose statement that is listed on the UnityNet or Community Network website. And it's pretty clearly, I'll just read it. Using the principles of sustainability, grassroots activism, and collaborative decision-making, we support a framework for prioritization and establishment of new community projects and programs that help find solutions to the greatest problems of the 21st century. Our goal is to support and catalyze tangible social transformation and balance with our natural world. Currently, our general priorities involve developing new governance and new economic models based on natural ecology and sustainability that can meet basic life necessities of all people, and a variety of other projects. Right? This is from like dozen years ago or more, right? That we have been trying to push this vision and this value and this purpose, right? With, still not getting any funding and still not getting any like direct support more than like a few $1,000s here or there,
Yeah, I
So,
mean, yeah,
obviously this has been a long time.
Yeah, these are great.
But the hope would be that, well, it's a few sentences, but yeah, I mean, the hope would be to, like, if we're trying to rebrand and represent, the website, we want it obviously to look good, but we also, want to fix whatever wasn't working from before,
Of course. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely I mean, this I would see more like a potential vision option, right? Or even mission.
Well, I mean, for me, this is, what it was a purpose, right? But yeah, maybe it's too much. Maybe this is the vision, and what we need is more clarity on exactly what the purpose is, right?
Jay, I saw this one, Introduction to FQN. I saw this.
Yeah, this is here, line
It's space for people to come
line
together.
94.
This may be more published.
Yeah, and this has been our most recent mission, right? So the mission basically is to create space for people to come together and support each other to improve our collective user experience as a person on this planet. And we're building these three infrastructures, right? So new economic infrastructures, we want to help build new economic infrastructures, new decision-making infrastructures, and new educational infrastructures. Exactly. So that's all correct.
Which is line
in terms of, but does that represent what we are doing with this particular website? That would be the question. So let's think about it. So for our economic infrastructure, that would primarily focus on the co-op website. So if we create a whole new cooperative branch and we say, okay, this is the collaborative, the collaborators co-op, and this is our new economic model for how we present, collaboration and value, that could be one option on that, right?
Yeah.
Also, the decision-making infrastructures and the educational infrastructures. I mean, all of this is the co-op, right? Because it really, none of these things really have much to do with SVG or the sponsorship program or
Well,
any of
but
it. Like the co-op is where we build the infrastructure.
yeah, but
You know what I mean?
yeah, but for example, SVG, right? Like a client that when we get a client for SVG, he's not just a client. He becomes a member. He can vote.
In the co-op, that's the co-op. They become a member in the co-op and actually participate, if they choose, in the value that's being distributed. So remember, SVG is basically like a branch of
FQ.
the whole umbrella, right? So in that context, it's like, we're going to talk about this in the future, but all of the value within SVG is also united and connected through the community equity and through the whole model that we have into all of the other tokens.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. This is all applicable to the whole to any website that we showcase, because even with
exactly. But the point is that the co-op holds the power, right? The cooperative is what holds the power over the value distributed across the network and then eventually the vortex. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. No, I was still talking about the purpose of the vision, right? So I think this is definitely something that it's applicable to our umbrella purpose, because we are creating new infrastructures.
Definitely.
Also through
Definitely,
SVG. Yeah.
But SVG doesn't really create new economic infrastructures. SVG just allows us
Implements
to get
them. Yeah, but it implements new ways of doing economic systems, right? Because this is what
Not
I mean.
really.
Well,
it's just like
I don't see any other
presented.
client that comes to us and hires us for I don't know, setting up his social project. At the same time, he gets involved into our whole network and gets community equity and all that. I mean, that's the way how we are implementing these new infrastructures.
Yeah, for ourselves, right? So when, like, for SVG, the purpose of SVG is to have a professional front to bring in money so that people will pay us as clients and we can bring in money and work. Sure, we're implementing community equity. Sure, we're implementing, communal oversight and accountability for us, right? It's not for anyone else, right? It's not an economic infrastructure. It's an organizational infrastructure. Do you see the difference?
Yeah, but for example,
economic infrastructure applies to everybody.
No,
like SVG is a closed system, right? It's closed by definition, whereas the co-op is open. Anyone can join the co-op. Nobody can join SVG. SVG is a closed system, right? So I think it's applicable. An example of utilizing some of, right, very few of the actual models that we're presenting, we're using in SVG. But the co-op and the broader umbrella is going to be using all of them and is completely open to anybody across the entire world, right? And so in relationship specifically to building economic infrastructure, I mean, SDG is an example of an organizational structure that is slightly evolved, but it's not an economic infrastructure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely like a decision making infrastructure, how we're implementing decision making, and I mean, I understand SVG is kind of borderline because it's more like as you said, it's more like a closed system, but I mean, still it represents this an implementation of this new infrastructure that we're building. So that's why I think this is.
But I think co-op does a much better job of that.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that this is applicable as an umbrella purpose to be included in the umbrella website. as the umbrella identity.
So going back to line 23, all right, I'm just going to bring this down to line 115. So present the work and vision of FQN, right? We want to do one thing which is very clear, which is to present active programs, right? That people can participate in now, right? That's obviously we want to do that. That's going to happen, right? But when we're talking about the mission and the vision and the purpose and the bigger picture of, either FQN or FQV or the community network or whatever we're presenting, whatever we decide to present, something else comes up, which is that we may want to present the future possible programs and ideas that are in essence, the pipeline, right? So I don't know how much we might want to go down that, but we could easily have a page, we could have a page on the umbrella website that lists information about, programs and activities that we want to launch and add as a showcase.
Like a coming soon page.
Not necessarily a coming soon page, more of like
what's next.
It could even be presented on vote on which ideas you like best, right? This would be like kind of related to Idea Fund.
Nice. This is also engaging with the public.
Yeah. So then we can see where people are interested in, where we want to go as we move forward, and which projects and programs we want to prioritize to showcase next and get the website set up. Because a lot of these things are ready to go. It's just a matter of creating a public interface so that it's functional,
Yeah, and it definitely meets the criteria that to engage the public. That's very cool for the public to go there and vote on what they like best that we should prioritize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's just an idea, like maybe the way that we can talk, because I feel like there's parts of our mission and our vision and our purpose that relate to, depending on how big we want to go. Like right now we're talking very, very big, all of the above, right? That basically, if we want to just include everything in our purpose and not leave anything out, we're presenting a vision that's bigger than what we're showcasing. And then we're saying, okay, this is what we're showcasing now. This is what's available now, but we want to do much more. And this is the list of where we want to go for our next steps. And here are, it could literally be, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 different programs and ideas that we would like to work on implementing if the public engage with us and helped us, build value and funding to actually make some of these happen, and we could just prioritize them, have the public be involved in prioritizing them. So, starting with, for example, the planetary sessions, right?
Yeah.
At the top of the list and explain what the planetary sessions are, what their purpose is, how they work, but just in like a paragraph as opposed to an entire website,
Yeah. Yeah. No, the whole idea of the prime trajectory of this umbrella showcase website is to go big, right? To go big, to have something very cool to launch. Right. So I wouldn't cut on anything. I think this list 92, 97 is great. I would just add that.
Wait, 92, 97. Okay, all right. Those
Yeah.
are the list of the missions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Missions.
I would just add one, this one here, which is very cool, because all the rest is already there. The only one that I see.
Where are you adding? Set your venture and social project up for success.
Yeah.
But that's not really a mission. So a mission would be more like
Support social programs through professional services or something like that.
Well, no, I mean, we could just use this. Like, there's two parts of a mission. A mission is two parts. One is what you're doing, and then how you're doing it. So basically, let's just use this exact same sentence. It would be like, or the same phrase. This is not a sentence; it's a phrase. You set your venture or social project up for success
By
to bring social services and new ideas to the public, right? So how actually this is actually the wrong way around. It's the mission would be to bring new social services and ideas to the public, and then how we do that is we set up new ventures and social projects for success, right? So it would actually be the other way around. It would be like, to bring new social ideas and programs to the public by setting up ventures and programs for success. So I don't know exactly the best way to put it, but that would be a mission statement. Does that make sense? This is not a good mission statement, but that certainly is the start.
Yeah, by setting up new social ideas and programs to the public, by setting up those, by setting those ventures and programs up for success.
Yeah.
By setting up those ventures and programs for success. Yeah, perfect. That's the only one I would add.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. Another one that we could look at, going back to line like 120 here, is that we could showcase idea fund or a model for community elections, right? So we have a bunch of different things. There's idea fund, there's community elections, there's basically the comprehensive plan, where basically we could create a subset that is like, okay, this is the FQN laundry list of all of the ideas and projects and programs that we want to do as an umbrella. Let's prioritize and see where the public wants to go, starting with our co-op, starting with SVG, starting with these things. So instead of it being a page on the website, we're actually showcasing the power of communal voting, right? Utilizing score voting, right? This is a showcase of the communal power of score voting and prioritization, right?
Yeah.
So that could actually be, instead of that being a page, it could actually be an entire showcase, right, of who we are and what we stand for the future, so that our vision is basically, in the future, everything else in the pipeline that we're working towards is actually a showcase, which makes it more powerful, I think.
When you say showcase, actually a showcase, what do you mean?
It would be its own website, right? So we would add that to the list of websites. So right now we have a list of 5 websites. So this would be a 6th website. No, we already have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be a 6th one, which would basically be the pipeline future, vision elections, for FQN, right? Or whatever we wanted to call it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like a separate website. Instead of,
well, because the idea of the idea is that you're showcasing, you're showcasing the planning, community elections and prioritization process of our umbrella, right? So instead of just making a random page, that's just this one little thing, you create an entire umbrella. You create an entire showcase website that takes it a whole nother level, where you're actually processing, right? Instead of it just a random page that people go to and maybe click on a couple votes or whatever, it's like it's an experience, right? You're turning it from a random page that you just read and click to an experience, turning it into an experience. And that way, it's like we know what is in the pipeline. We know what the next priority is to continually showcase. And so we're just constantly evolving and growing and adding new showcases to the showcase websites. And it also creates the process of how new showcase websites are added. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
And instead of it just being like a random thing that is just like a random page, it's an entire process that involves value. For example, as you vote, you're building value. As you vote and prioritize these things, you're actually evolving them and adding ideas and adding more energy to it, which is also more value. And so you're distributing that value and building tokens around it. And in that process, you're actually starting to create and build these ideas that are growing and improving, right? And then you're bringing them once they get like basically this entire process we're going through would be within this other website because we're prioritizing all these new showcase projects that we want to bring to life as their own websites. And then we're doing that. And we're building the umbrella website as well. And we're doing all of this. And so it kind of creates the sandbox that everything comes out of for the future. It's like that's what we are currently in, which means that we're basically building the experience that we are going through now. We're building it as an infrastructure that future generations will continue to go through over and over and over and over again as we build more and more showcases that come to the public. Right? So instead of just saying this is an umbrella website, we're actually saying, okay, no, we're actually building the experience of co-creation. Does you understand what I'm saying? I could explain this more detail because I'm really excited about this. Can I go into more detail on it?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So the idea is that the experience that we are going through right now, right? And this experience includes the last 6 months of building SVG. It includes building this umbrella showcase website. It includes building the co-op website. It includes building the sponsorship website. In essence, building and improving the sponsorship website. And it will include building the support alliance website, right? So this experience of building these projects, the most specific example that we all understand the most is SVG. We understand SVG. We did it together. We made it happen. And it was an amazing experience. And it was fun. It was exciting. We did it. And we never finalized the whole launch. We didn't finalize the final little details. So we're still in the process.
Because
but
we're
just
not
like
ready.
every single other system we create, right? We have systems and processes for our budget. We have systems and processes for our payrolls. We have system and processes for our recruitment. We could just create a system and process for the experience of launching showcased websites. And there's so much value in that. And we can make it a publicly interactive experience. I think it's amazing.
Do you want to take a break first, Jay? Alberto? Bottom of the hour.
Yeah, let's take a break. Yeah, we can take a break. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that everything that we're going through right now, if we didn't do this, would become a one-time thing. Because you just go through this one time, you build a showcase website, you build a program, and then the program exists, and then you never have to do it again because it's done. But if we actually showcase the experience itself, it never ends, right? It never ends. We're always recalibrating what our current showcase is and what we need to improve for the public and what the public wants. And we have this interactive experience about what is the next big thing that we want to present to the public. And I think that just is a very exciting process that we could document, build an entire system around, and that system itself would be extremely valuable. And eventually we could actually even either automate and or um, charge like not a basically an organizational fee or whatever that we could help people do it themselves. So if you're like you want to build a program, we have a process and a system for building programs that is unmatched, and we can help you get started on such a higher level. It's going to cost $2,500, right?
Yeah, it's cool because this would, as you said, I mean, exactly what we're doing. It's by doing this, what we're doing wouldn't be anymore a one-time thing, but we would build a system and the process how to showcase websites, how to create the showcase website, the website that will showcase.
But it's not just the showcase website. It's also creating a program. It's creating an organization. It's understanding the mission, the logo, the design. Like it's the structure, the value. There's nothing that's not included. So it's like literally it's a new model and system for organizations in an effective, efficient manner that is scalable and replicable, so that we can do more and more, faster and faster as we go along.
Yeah.
And if we're successful with SVG, and we're successful with this Umbrella Showcase website, and we're successful with building this vision that is, one of the most complicated things I've ever heard anyone ever try to do, because I don't know anyone who ever even attempts to do the kind of things that I do, right? That I've been working on for 20 years now,
Yeah.
right? So if we can actually successfully do this, like it would be basically like a ticket for other people to want to sign up and have us do it for them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So first we need to focus on ourselves. Let's focus on ourselves. But I believe that this is very different than SVG, right? Because SVG is the product of this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So
It's a
SVG
product.
is something out of this. Like SVG doesn't do this itself. So this is a bigger visionary process, which I believe this is the only time that we really can document it when we're actually going through it. So the first step, if we decided to do this, the first step, if we choose to do this, is to stop, document everything we went through with SVG, and start building a system and process from what we did before. So everything that we already missed in SVG, we would want to just like quickly brainstorm and document everything that we missed in the overall process. And then as we go through it for the Umbrella website, as we go through it for the co-op, as we go through it for this sponsorship and support alliance, we can document it in much, much more detail, build the processes, build the systems, build the responsibilities, and be able to replicate this in the future for every single other project and program that we want to launch, and for the public, that anyone who wants to either engage in a DIY model that we can provide publicly, or if they want to pay us to do it for them. So I think this is kind of a long-term thing, but it's essential for both functioning in what we want to achieve, because we know that these 4 or 5 websites are not everything we want, right? And then also it's essential in terms, I think eventually, if we're successful, the public would definitely want to pay us buco bucos to set up, their organizations in a model that is very functional and easy to do. So I think this is exciting. So yeah, 5-minute break.
5-minute break. Yeah.
All right, cool.